everyone, and welcome to my week 6 progress report, where I'm sharing with you my weekly updates as I move through our team challenge with our 23W members. So first of all, thank you so much for jumping on and watching these videos. I certainly hope you're getting a lot of information out of them. This week, I'm going to be chatting through my progress as well as talking through some actual really important things. Right about now, with only a couple of weeks to go, some people think, well, the challenge has come and it's over. In actual fact, never should you ever stop reviewing the process and trying to refine where you are currently at on your journey. So let's start with talking about how my week has been. Well, on the weekend, we had our first Train the Trainer event, and it was so much fun. I mean, it was hard. Definitely the girls did not take it easy on us. They put us through a really grueling, fast-paced session, but there was a lot of laughs along the way, and I certainly felt like I got a great workout. I felt really energized. And make sure that if you haven't watched our little highlights reel, that you head across and you watch that video. It's good for a little bit of a giggle. I also managed to find 30 minutes on the gloves with Son to work through my Muay Thai, which I just absolutely love. I love spending time one-to-one with a boxing coach. I always just find I work so hard, and it's always great to be practicing my skills there too. And hopefully, because the weather is so beautiful, I'm going to head out for a little quick run this afternoon. So tick and tick for my 2 HIIT/high intensity sessions. So I'm training really well. My nutrition this week has been also pretty good, pretty standard, just eating the same foods that I know work for me, and my step count is up. I am probably going to continue to stay off the scales until the end of the 8-week challenge because the batteries in my scales are currently flat. But I'm just going to continue to trust the process, continue to focus in on the things that I can control. So my diet, my nutrition, my movement. I have got a few days away, so it is always a little bit more tricky when you put yourself into an unfamiliar environment. But I guess that really is the nature of what I want to talk through for the rest of this video. So first of all, weight loss ideals can be pretty debilitating. And I know that as somebody who used to spend a lot of time, too much time, thinking about my own weight loss aspirations, stressing about the food I was eating, the activity I was doing, the training I was doing, and whether or not it was enough to help me lose weight. Putting yourself in that mindset where you're always thinking you're not doing enough, or you're not doing the right things, or you take weight loss and you put it in this big, huge barrel of difficulty, and you make it seem like it's this big problem. You give your power away to these negative thoughts and emotions inside your own head. What is a way more successful and effective way to be thinking about weight loss ideals, if you have them, and if you have desires to lose weight, you should never feel bad about that. That's the first thing, because while we have a society that likes to fat shame, we also have another society that likes to shame on people who do diet and people who do want to achieve a certain body composition, and you should never feel bad about that. But what we should be doing is breaking it down into much more smaller and achievable steps that actually becomes a lot more manageable. What we shouldn't be doing is be sitting there subscribing to every single newsletter, every single YouTube channel, trying to look for tips and tricks that will actually help you along the way, like, you know, drinking more water or following this very highly specific meal plan. That just doesn't work. What does work is actually thinking about your own personal circumstances and really trying to get to the root of why your body is holding on to the weight that you don't want. If you're already at a really healthy body composition, so your body fat percentage is sitting somewhere around the 25% or lower, losing weight is going to be harder because you're already at a really healthy body weight range, and losing any more will obviously mean that you're pushing your body to be leaner than where it would ideally like to sit. It's not to say that it's unachievable, or it's not possible, or it's unrealistic. It just means you're going to have to work a little bit harder and do a lot more searching. If, however, you find yourself that you do definitely have some weight that you would like to lose, it is about looking at your own personal circumstances and really unpacking very specific things in your day so that you can really understand what it is that's stopping you from losing the weight. And the first place I would start looking is your emotions, because unfortunately, as women, we are highly emotional and we tend to start to look for foods as ways to heal ourselves. So looking at stress and the impact of stress, anxiety, sleep deprivation, looking at hunger, looking at satiety, looking at all those ranges of emotions that actually influence your behaviors around food. It's really important that you become a problem solver in this whole part and stop looking at the things that you're not doing and start looking at the things that you can just do better. So I'll give you a very specific example. When I do the weekly check-ins with our 23W community, sometimes I hear comments like, I didn't plan my meals, or I didn't track my macros, or I ate out too many times this week, or I missed workouts. And yes, while those things might be factually true, they actually really do very little to think about what you are actually doing to solve the problem or to be solving the issue that you might be facing when it comes to weight loss. So it's really important to start to look at the things that you are stopping doing, those positive things that you are stopping yourself from doing, and the things that you're starting to do instead. So while it might be true that you didn't track your macros, it is really important to stop that thought in your head, because that is going to be only reinforcing the things that you didn't do, and start thinking of the things that you did do to solve that problem, because I guarantee if that was a problem last week, it might also be a problem in the weeks coming up. So start thinking about the things that you did do that actually put you on the right course. So maybe it's time to start flipping your mindset and starting to think about maybe adding in phrases when you're reviewing and reflecting on your process. Things like, I stopped myself from going back for seconds, or I added an extra serve of greens to reduce my carbohydrate intake. I added a salad to my takeaway pizza. So I know that these things might seem quite arbitrary and quite small, but unfortunately, guys, weight loss is a bunch of very small, very specific issues that you are facing. So it's really important that you stop and you give yourself enough time and space to really drill down into those very highly specific things. And sometimes we give our power away to things that actually really don't make that much of a difference. So, you know, when I hear members come back and say, I don't have any more time to be doing any more, therefore I will never be able to lose weight. Well, you probably gathered by my tone, that defeatist attitude really doesn't give you a whole lot to play with there. You'd be much better off stopping and looking and reviewing what you're doing, acknowledging the busyness of your life, and maybe acknowledging whether or not weight loss at that particular moment at the time is your number one goal. Possibly stress management or time management might be a much better goal to focus in on. And as I said from previous weeks, a whole bunch of those little things do end up leading to weight loss anyway. It really is the long game that we're playing here. And while 8 weeks can be sometimes giving you this feeling like you need to be putting a certain time period on your goals, or setting arbitrary numbers around what it is that you're hoping to achieve in that 8-week period, in reality, sometimes some of these habits are things that you've created over a very long period of time. So it might take a whole lot longer than 8 weeks to start to unpack them. But if you continue to seek and really change the way that you're doing everything and try and throw out the baby with the bathwater, is that the right saying? I think it is. Then you're always going to be left second guessing yourself, as opposed to going, what will actually work within the context of my own life? What can I actually do? And if it's getting a meal prep service in so that you've got meals ready to go, so for the nighttime meals, you don't have to sit there and spend time in the kitchen, do that. If you're collapsing into the weekend and you're losing all control because you're so highly stressed from your week, and then you're going into another busy weekend where you've got social events and everything else, you need to find some quiet time. You need to find some space, okay? Because it is really important that you are able to invest time, effort, and energy into reviewing and unpacking what's going on in your life, because somebody else's plan just will not work for you, okay? I can give you my exact workouts and the exact foods that I eat, and I guarantee out of everyone that's watching this, which is probably only about 10 of you, maybe less than 1% will actually do it. And that doesn't mean that my way is the right way. It doesn't mean that your way is the right way. It just means that we need to continue to look for ways that actually work for us to keep us happy and healthy. And so the last thing I'm going to, touch on before signing out is the importance of really looking after yourself and thinking about how you can nurture yourself more and how you can love yourself more. And if I think about it, I know that the same things that I think, that I come up with how I can really nurture myself, they are also going to help me lose weight. Like get better sleep, get to bed on time. That will nurture myself by making sure I'm more energized the next day. Not eating food off Skylar's plate. That will help nurture myself because I'll actually enjoy my own food and probably nourish myself a whole lot better rather than thinking, oh, I picked something off his plate, I better not eat again. So I want you to really think about that going into the last couple of weeks of the challenge. That's all for me this week. I hope you enjoyed my weekly report, and I can't wait to see you next time. See you later.